Recently, AAPHO and the Hovnanian School have sponsored a free presentation for parents and students, What is social media doing to our children and families? The presentation was given by two medical experts, pediatrician Dr. Lynn Chetin and child and adolescent psychiatrist Dr. Marianne Tateosian. These distinguished speakers met with parents and students to discuss the topic of social media, a topic important to all families as social media impacts adolescent behavior. The evening began with the opening remarks by the Dr. Greg Simonian, Chairman of Board of Trustees of Hovnanian School, followed by AAPHO's President Larry Najarian. Dr. Chetin, a partner at ProHealth Care Associates, LLP in Lake Success, New York, shared with the audience the latest statistics regarding the social media, as well as its risks and benefits. Dr. Tateosian, who is now completing a fellowship in child-adolescent psychiatry in Montefiore Medical Center in Bronx, touched on the issue of sexting between teenagers and young adults, pressures and depressions caused by social media, and real-life implication of posting on social media in regards to higher education and future employment. Both speakers also shared important information for the parents, including laws and regulations in connection with the use of social media. This event was another example of AAPHO's commitment to share information with more community members through the no-cost presentation with partners such as Hovnanian School.
What was the influence today that you learned from this event?
Probably try and stay off social media more, interact with family a lot more, and, stay off the internet and, more things like that, try to improve myself that way.
Our children are exposed to so much social media, so much pressure from friends, so much pressure from television idols, that I thought we had to bring this to the Hovnanian School, to our community, to let them know of the risks and some of the benefits of being out there on social media. We don't want to inhibit or suppress any great, brilliant ideas and great creativity. We just want the children to be responsible and understand what's out there.
As a parent of two beautiful daughters, what is your concern today? What did you learn from all this today that was taught?
I found it to be very informative, very helpful, and these are discussions that I've been having, particularly with my younger one, Natalie, and because I'm concerned about it. I'm concerned about. I see the news articles about cyberbullying and the effects, and you have kids who are committing suicide over that, and I get concerned about inappropriate conduct on the internet. The kids not being aware of what the potential ramifications are.
Հարց այն է, որ իրենց ասի գաստե, իրենց Allah հոգեկանին, Allah իրենց ամենօրյային, իրենց աշխարհակներուն, իրենց ընկերայինին վրա, իրենց ընդհանրապես որևէ անձերու հետ հարաբերություններով վրա նույնիսկ իրար նայելու, իրարու հետ խոսելու իսկ կարոտը կա երբեմն։ Փառքաստիծո մեր դպրոցը դեռ այդտեղ չի ասած, բայց գիտենք, որ եթե ուշադիր չլնանք, եթե իրենք տեղյակ չլան եւ չգիտնան ador vadagnere եթե ինքնին ցկեն ծեվում ուշադիր չլան այդ բարակային պիտի ամենս լավ որ պիտի գործընծնենք իրենց այս սերունդը պետք է վախնալ պետք է գիտնալ մանավանդ պետք է սորվիլ պետք է թուրը բացկել ինչպես երկու մեր ասվորվա խոսակիցները գցեին շատ ճիշտ ծեվով գաբի մեջ լալ երդասարդներն
Hi and welcome to AAPHO TV's health program. I'm Dr. Orhan Kuratoprak. We will be covering an important topic tonight, and the topic is the effects of social media on our children and families. And I have two important guests with me tonight, two physicians, pediatrician Dr. Lynn Chetin and the psychiatrist Dr. Marianne Tateosian. I'm sure we have or you are seeing a lot of children with the effects of social media on their families and on the children. So let's define social media. What is social media?
Well, social media is any website, internet site that children can interact with other children. It's like the new age newspaper and books.
Right.
So such sites like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, any venue where the children can interact with each other while not sitting next to each other is considered a social media.
Right. And especially, let's take one thing at a time. We have cell phones, we have internet. Let's talk about cell phones, the positive effect of cell phones and the negative effect of cell phones on children, and what should parents do?
Well, cell phones are out there. Everybody has one now. I think more people have cell phones than they probably have a landline in their home. Children these days, as young as 8 or 9, have cell phones.
But that's the right age?
Well, that's a very important question that parents will ask me. What age is it proper for me to get my child a cell phone?
Right.
And what I tell the parents is, giving your child a cell phone is not just like, my friend has one, the other child in the class has one, so you're in 3rd grade, you're going to get a cell phone. A cell phone has lots of responsibilities attached to it. If you give your child a cell phone, you have to make sure that they don't turn it on in school,
Right.
because they'll get in trouble, that they don't lose it. And if you do want to reach them, if it's not on, there's a whole new layer of anxiety for parents there. Because imagine if your 8-year-old had a cell phone and you tried to call them and they didn't answer, what's going to
Then
go
you're
through your
really
head?
anxious, the
You're
parents
going to
really
wonder,
anxious.
are they okay?
Right.
Or how about if they don't turn it off and they're in the classroom and the cell phone rings in the middle of the school and the child gets in trouble? So I tell parents, if you feel that your child is responsible to have a cell phone and that you can deal with the anxiety linked to that, then obviously we know the benefits of having it because you can always find your children.
Dr. Tatiosian, how about the emotional aspect of the cell phone on children? Is there any problem in terms of emotional aspect of the cell phone?
Cell phones can have an emotional effect on the children, especially if they are victims of sexting or cyberbullying. This can lead to depression and anxiety in children.
Right. You said sexting now. Let's define
Yes.
sexting.
Yes.
Because most of the parents, I myself learned later on, they don't know what sexting means. What is sexting?
It's unfortunately, it's becoming very commonplace right now, so let's define it. So sexting is the exchanging of sexually explicit or sexually suggestive images or video via cell phones.
Right, so really it can be very dangerous because the privacy issue and they're getting exposed the kids to whole world kind of, because that's the media.
Yes, it can be.
So is there any program that parents can implement to see what they're sending to each other, the kids, on the cell phones?
They can actually. There are different apps that the parents can install on their children's phones, such as My Mobile Watchdog, My Net Nanny,
Right.
things like this. There's plenty of them if you look them up online. You can install them on your child's phone with or without their knowledge. And what these programs do is they will register when your child takes a picture with their phone and
Right.
automatically send that picture to your laptop
Right.
or your cell phone before the child can even send it out into a text message. So you can always monitor what your child
What
is
the child's
doing.
doing. Well, Dr. Chetan, now the parents come to you and then they have a concern, obviously. Not all the parents, they have this program, apps downloaded. So what do you advise them? What's your advice?
Well, it's interesting. We have to take a step backwards. A lot of times the parents are not even aware of what's going on. Nowadays, when the kids come to the office, I will point blank ask the children, are you having any issues at school with someone bullying you, sending you inappropriate messages?
Right.
And the parents will sometimes be very frightened as to what comes out of their children's mouths.
Right.
So, they are really not aware sometimes what is going on in the schools.
What are the signs and symptoms that we should look, or parents should look in children to say, oh my God, this is something going on in school and my child has changed? What should they look for?
Well, that, like you just said, a change. Always
Right.
look for a change in your child's behavior. Irritability in children
So irritability is one.
very important because this is one factor that is different in childhood depression versus adult depression. When you look at an adult and you look at them depressed, you see them sad, you see them withdrawn. A child will be irritable, and it is important to note when this irritability happens. Does it happen when they get off the cell phone, when they're on their cell phone, when they're on the computer? Look at the scenarios that the irritability happens in, and if it's related to social media, think that maybe it could be causing your child to become irritable.
What is the right question to ask to kid? They are coming from the school and you're a parent. What kind of question should I ask to see that they should get involved or engage with me, that they can tell me something?
Well, I think the first way to open up the topic is to say, what do you know about sexting? What do you know about cyberbullying? Just to get an idea of how much your child knows. That's the first
What age we should
first
start
step.
that? Sexting is a kind of, uncomfortable word to me as a
It
parent,
is.
let's
It is
say.
an extremely
What age I should start to
Yes.
to talk about sexting with the kids?
Probably middle school, or as soon as
Middle
they have a
school.
cell phone, believe it or not, because a
Right.
lot of them know about it, and if they do not know about it, they will know about it in high school.
So
for-
then
for
really
sure.
that means that the cell phones is not really proper until teenagers. Right, Dr. Chitin? What do you say?
Proper in the sense that they have to be responsible in how to work with it. Cell phones are no longer for just making a phone call. In fact, most children do not use a cell phone to make a phone call. They don't even know what that is. They are texting each other. And most of our children know about these issues way before the parents are even aware of it. And the reason why we pediatricians and child psychiatrists like to engage parents in conversation is because we don't think that they're really quite aware of what's going on out there.
Right. I think there's a significant role on the teachers too. As a matter of fact, I had the other day in my office, a teacher came in and she said she has no clue what they are doing because she doesn't know even how to work all those programs that
She's a
apps that they-
generation different,
exactly,
perhaps,
different
yeah.
generation
Yeah.
teachers they have. So then really I think it's a significant burden on you, pediatricians and the psychiatrists, to teach the parents, I guess, or to talk to kids to see what is the proper thing to do, what not.
Well, you know, like Dr. Tatiason said, there are apps that can help with the privacy issues. I may not know all of that information as a pediatrician, but I can at least tell the parents where to go to find the information. They may not even know where to begin because they are not aware of the technology out there. Because a lot of these parents are naive to what's out there.
And the texting really, that's important too, because sometimes you go to a restaurant and families engage in talking and the kid is on the texting.
Or they're not
And
talking.
they're not talking
not
at all.
talking,
And
right,
they're
yeah.
on the phone and they're talking with their friends, quote unquote talking, but actually they're not.
Mm-hmm.
There's no physical activity there. And plus that engagement with the family matters. It's a maturity, getting into the maturity. I'm sure psychological effect is there when there's no personal contact,
Right.
when you're texting.
Well, you were saying that what can you do to open up a dialogue?
Right.
When your kids come home from school, you should sit them down and say, what did you do today? You know, a lot of kids will just
Right,
go to their
that's-
room,
right.
they will start their homework, they'll be online on the computer, they'll text their friends, and there's no conversation going on. So the communication is very different these days than it was before.
What would the advice to the parents? Some of them, let's say the kid is in the room, says, mom comes there, says, what are you doing? Says, I'm doing my homework. Now he's on the internet or she's on the internet, and you don't know really what's going on. What is the advice to the parents? What kind of interaction should be said? What kind of homework or what is happening? Or has to be something to understand what's going on.
The first problem is that
Yeah.
there's a computer in the room. There
Right.
should not be a computer in the room. The
Okay.
computer should be
Okay, so
in an
all the
open
parents now
area
you're
where the
listening,
family is.
no computer in the
There
rooms.
should not
Yeah.
be a computer in the room,
Right.
any age. If they're going to do their homework, they should be able to do it where mom and dad can watch. There's no need to have a computer
In their
for any
room.
age child by themselves.
Okay. Then the question comes in, should they have cell phone in their room? Or cell phone should be in the kitchen where everybody sees?
Well, when they go to sleep at night, the cell phone really should be in the kitchen or somewhere outside of the sleeping area, because we've heard of stories where kids will take their cell phone underneath the covers, they will text their friends, they'll be talking to them. It's no longer the days of the phone ringing. You can put it on vibrate and talk
And
all night
talk.
long,
Right.
text all night long.
Right.
Not only that, it can also affect their sleeping habits. It also causes insomnia.
Right, that's another aspect
Right,
of
another
it.
aspect of it.
Unfortunately, we're running out of time, and we'll continue our discussion in part 2 of this program. Don't forget to visit AAPHO's website, www.aahpo.org. You can visit this program and see other many healthcare issues and important issues in AAPHO's website. Until next program, so long.